Hi and welcome or welcome back to the Books Are Everywhere. Today and this week we are here with a very exciting vlog. I cannot wait to get started. I've been looking forward to this week all of December. Today is the start of the Lightfall reading vlog. The Lightfall reading vlog is hosted by G over at BookRoast. I will link the announcement video down below so you can just hear a little bit more about it. It is kind of set within the world of her major magical readathon that she does every year, which runs in April and September most years, or August. I think it's been September the past 2 years. But anyway, Lightfall is a week-long cozy low stakes readathon for the week before Christmas, and I'm very excited for it. I don't know if I've really participated before, or if I have, I haven't done it like hardcore. This year I'm planning on doing it hardcore. Like, I want to do as much as I can. I love that this is a low stakes readathon, and I love that we have a bingo board. Here is the beautiful bingo board. All of the designs that G does for all of the things that she does is so intricate, beautiful and amazing and creative. And I know that her partner Logan also does a lot of the drawings and stuff, and it just looks incredible. I also really like how G has put things that are not reading in this readathon. So we have a lot of reading in the middle of the bingo board. So the middle, like, we have a free space, and then the middle 8 squares around the free space are reading, and then the outer squares are not reading related, and I really like that because it just makes it like lower stakes. We can also double up on the prompts this year, which I'm very excited about. So yeah, I'm gonna try and knock out some things today. I don't want to knock out like everything in one go, because there's quite a few things that I want to do today. But this is running from today, which is the 15th of December, to Sunday, which is the 21st of December. So we have the whole 7 days, and I am taking you with me for the whole 7 days. So there's a couple of things on here that I really want to do today. I'll take you through the board. So we have on the outside, so the non-reading prompts, we have baking. I'll definitely do that at some point. Reading when it's dark. I definitely will do that because it's mostly dark here in the UK right now. Donate, which I'm planning on doing today. Play a game, which I will hopefully do either a video game or a board game at some point. Suggest a book, which I'm excited about. The Lightfall ASMR. I use the Lightfall ASMR room all the time. You've probably seen it in a lot of my videos recently because I have it on in the background most of the time while I'm reading at the moment. DIY a card. I would really like to do that. I don't really know where to start, but I do have some colouring pens I could use to do something. I've seen some cute tutorials recently, so I will try and do that. A hot drink. I've had a lot of hot chocolates recently. Window shop, which I think you could do either in person or online, which makes it a little bit easier because I don't necessarily want to make a whole trip out of that. Stroll, go for a walk, I will definitely do. Watch a movie. A sweet treat. Share your read. Finish a craft, not start a craft, finish a craft. I have an idea for that one too. Check in on a friend and light a candle, which I'm excited for. All of those. Then the reading prompts, we have a blue cover, or a mostly blue cover, a 4+ rating on like whatever app you use, like Goodreads or Storygraph, 300 to 400 pages, cozy, white cover, mostly white cover, a new release, a winter setting and a standalone. My current read, which I am most of the way through, but I think I can use it, I think that counts, is Under the Mistletoe with You by Lizzie Huxley-Jones. I definitely think I can count this for 300 to 400 pages and a winter setting. I think that's probably all that I can count it for. I need to check on what cozy means because this could definitely count as cozy, but I want to check what G actually says about that prompt in the announcement video before I like commit to throwing this in there for that prompt as well. But definitely winter setting and 300 to 400 pages I can use these for. So yeah, I am going to go out and do a few things now. One of the things I want to do while I'm out is donate. I know my local supermarket was running a toy donation bank for Christmas, so if that's still going, I have like a couple of little things I could put in there. I think they also have a food bank thing, and I will get a few things to put in the food bank. I try and do that actually most of the time when I'm in a supermarket. If I remember and if I know they have a food bank donation point, I will try and put something in the food bank donation point every time I go into a supermarket, so I'll try and do that. On the subject of donate, today I also need to drop off a big box. This big box, which is actually full of books. I actually am part of like a charity thing through work, and I'm sending this box of books to a school. So I need to drop that off at the post locker later today before I go to work. I'm on afternoon shifts this week, which I'm happy about because I thought it would fit well with this readathon, because when I'm on afternoon shifts I have like the whole morning and early afternoon before I go to work to like do things. Right now I have like 2.5 hours before I need to go to work, so it's not the most amount of time. I've already done some reading this morning of Under the Mistletoe with You. But yeah, I like that I have that focus time. Often people, like my friends, my family, are not free before I go to work when I'm doing late, so I don't get to see people that much on these weeks. But I will have some like focus time for myself, which is, it's a good week for the Lightfall readathon because I will hopefully have some like dedicated time that I can dedicate to this, and be able to do things in the day, like go for a walk, go for a donation thing, go and do the donations, things like that. But anyway, I'm gonna go and get started and do the donations. Hello, it has been a few days since I updated this vlog. I'm pretty sure I started it on Monday. It is now Thursday. The week is just running away from me, and that makes me really disappointed because I really wanted to like throw myself into this video, and I just feel like I've not had the chance to do that. I think working has taken up more of my day than I thought. I don't know why I didn't think that, but my shifts have changed. They're like 2 hours earlier than they were last time I was on the late shift, and it does make you lose quite a chunk of the day. And also I've been getting home like an hour later than I should be, because we don't finish on time, because of things that are still going on when we're meant to finish. So I've just like lost portions of my day, and then I've had stuff to do around work, and I've not been able to read as much as I wanted. So I have finally finished Under the Mistletoe with You, which I have been reading for about 5 days, which is not a lot, you know, that's really cool. But the frustrating thing is I've been probably like less than 50 pages to go for like 3 days now, and I just haven't found the like focus time to actually finish it. But I finally finished it, which I'm glad about. I really enjoyed this. I kind of didn't want it to end, but I also am ready to move on to something else. If you want more of my like thoughts on this, I did speak a lot more about it in my cozy festive reading vlog that I did, that was like focused around this book. But yeah, I did really enjoy this, and I would really recommend it. It was definitely like cozy, snowy, Christmassy vibes. It's the last festive book I have on my TBR, like it's the last festive book I own that I haven't read, and I don't have any more Christmas romances to read, which is a shame. But also I'm glad I've read them all. I'm glad I don't have more like carrying on into next year, because I got this before Christmas last year, and I feel like if you miss that like sweet spot, you're not going to read it for another year, and then I find it a bit frustrating. It's the same with like Halloween books, right? I find it frustrating when it's like you have a book that you can only feel like you can read in like a specific part of the year. But yeah, so I finished this one, really liked it. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm still obviously reading A Heart of Christmas, and I'm filming the other vlog to go along with this one. And I'm not sure what I'm going to read next. I have a couple of choices next to me, but before I do that I need to cross some stuff off the bingo board, because I've definitely done a lot of this stuff, and I'm hoping I can just edit this. Okay, I'm going to start circling things on the bingo board. Unfortunately not that you can see it, but I'll show you after, but my iPad doesn't do screen recording, which is slightly frustrating. So bake I have not done, read when dark I have done. Oh, that did not work when I tried to circle it. What's going on? Okay, so bake I've not done, read when dark I have done, donate I've done, play a game I have not done, suggest a book I guess I've not done this week. I don't think. Light a candle I have done. I'll leave the book ones for now, we'll come back to those. Lightfall ASMR, constantly doing. Check in on a friend. I have not done like specifically. I guess I've messaged people like, and I have messaged some people that I don't message all the time as well this week. And I did see a friend the other day who I've not, you know what, I'm gonna do that because I also helped a friend with Christmas shopping yesterday, so I'm gonna take that one off. Finish a craft I've not done. Share your read I've not done, but I might do that in a sec for Under the Mistletoe with you, because I would like to share that one like on my Instagram or something. Sweet treat I've done. I definitely feel like I've done that. Movie I've not done. Stroll, I keep wanting to tick this off and then being like, no. Because I haven't, like, for me when I read this, I think that that's specifically going out on a walk to enjoy that walk and for no other reason. I have walked to the shop, I have walked to another shop to buy like crafty things, I have been for a run. I have not specifically been for a stroll, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that. I've walked around the shops with a friend. Like I just don't know when I'm going to be able to get out just for a walk. I'll leave it for now, but I think it's one that if I haven't done by the end of the week, I will have done enough other things. Like I have a 10k run on Sunday, I'm going to probably run on Saturday as well. And in fact, I'm definitely going to part run on Saturday, so I'll just need to replace that with run. And I think that's fine. G said you can be quite flexible with these, you know, it's for a bit of fun anyway, so I really want to take that off, but I would love to just like actually go for a walk and fulfill what I think of this prompt being, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that. I'll leave it for now. Window shop, I'm going to say yes, because I went shopping with my friend yesterday. I didn't buy that much, I was more there for her. I bought a few bits, but you know, it was more for her. Hot drink, yes I have done, naturally. DIY a card, I have not done. Okay. Then we get on to the ones in the middle. They're trying to be more difficult to fulfill unless I like really double triple up on prompts, which unfortunately I'm going to do. So I would love to have more time to read, but in this week. But I think I'm going to have to like double triple up on prompts to be able to do this. Let's go through the prompts for reading. So blue, I've definitely not done that. I think it's blue cover, I think, but I'm not sure what else it would mean. 4+ star rating, I need to check in a minute. 300 to 400 pages I have done. Under the Mistletoe with you was 360ish, so I'll take that off. Cozy, I'm going to tick off with that. White, I'm not going to tick off with that. New release, I'm not going to tick off with that because it was last year. Winter setting, yes, and standalone, yes. So on the book front, I need to check 4+ star rating. Oh, it's 3.96. 3.96, that is so close. Okay, then I have a couple of other books that are my choice for reading next. This is my board right now, so I have done quite a lot. There's still a few that I need to do though. So I kind of want to, when I share my read, I also want to suggest it as a read because I really want to recommend this one. And I have also already recommended Lizzie Huxley-Jones to a couple of people. In fact, my friend messaged me the other day and was like, is it this book that you recommended? And she was talking about Make Your Mind This Christmas. And I was like, yes, it's that one. So I really feel like I should just count that as recommending a book. I think I'll feel like I can take that off once I've posted it on Instagram, because then I've done both suggest a book to people and share your read, and also talking about it in this video is kind of like suggesting it, you know. So I think I'll feel like I can do that in a minute, but first I need to choose my next read. And I have two choices. I have 9 Goblins, which comes out in January, and You and Me and You and Me and You and Me, which I'm drawn more towards because it's got a white cover, so I know I could tick that prompt off. However, I don't know how long this is going to take me to read, and I don't know if I'll actually get through it in the next couple of days. It is only 265 pages, but the text is tiny, like it's really small. This one comes out in February. I need to look at what the rating on it is, because I think that would like cement my choice. Oh, it has a 3.86. Okay, what about 9 Goblins? I definitely feel like 9 Goblins will have a higher than 4 star. 4.22. Right. So 9 Goblins would count for 4+ rating, new release, but nothing else. But then You and Me and You and Me and You and Me would count for new release white. And I feel like white is a harder prompt to tick off. I don't know, but then this is so short. It's only 150 pages. I feel like I could read this and then start this. I don't know, is that too much? I have also just remembered that the audiobook I'm currently reading, which is Magic, what is it called? Magic Has No Borders, is a predominantly blue cover. It's a 3.82 average rating though, so I can't count that as my high rating, but it does have a blue cover. So if miraculously I managed to finish both of these books and that book in the week, that's not happening. But if I did that, I would actually tick off all of the book prompts on this board, well, all of the book prompts. Then I would need to DIY a card, bake, play a game, suggest a book, share a read, finish a craft, movie and stroll all this week. Probably not finishing it. I really want to challenge myself though, like it's so close, I can just out of reach. We'll see. In order to do that, I really need to like put some work in. Don't know when that's all happening. Specifically on the like wall reading, suggest the finish a craft and baking. There's a few things on there that I really need to like put my pedal to the metal if it's gonna. You know what? I am baking on Sunday. I have to bake Sunday, and I'm seeing my friend Mitchell and we're baking together, so I will take off baking. That is lovely to know. Right, I think I'm gonna read this next because I feel like it's gonna take me no time to read. It's only 145 pages, and it will tick off new release and 4+ stars, and then I can focus on this / another white cover book if there's something else I can think of. Because I'll have done new release with this, and I'll have done blue with Magic Has No Borders. So the only other thing I'll need to tick off is white. Interesting. Okay, that's decided it. We're going to read 9 Goblins by T. Kingfisher. I have never read a T. Kingfisher book, and one of my colleagues was recommending me loads of T. Kingfisher books, and I said, which one should I read? And she managed to get me a proof of 9 Goblins. So I have a note in here from the publisher saying, as requested by my colleague. So thank you very much to the publisher for sending this my way. It is Titan Books that this one has come from. And I am very excited to read it. But basically my colleague said it was great, the recommendation she gave me, because it was like, if you want cozy fantasy, read Paladin's Grace. If you want, I can't remember exactly what she said for 9 Goblins. What I know about this is it's like a mixture of cozy, goblins, violence. Apparently really violent. The synopsis of this says, no one knows how the Goblin War began, but folks will tell you that goblins are stinking, slinking, filthy and sheep stealing. Hen house raiding, obnoxious, rude and violent. Goblins would actually agree with all of this and might throw in cowardly and lazy for good measure. But goblins don't go around killing people for fun, no matter what propaganda posters say. And when a confrontation with an evil wizard lands a troop of 9 goblins deep behind enemy lines, Goblin Sergeant Nasilka must figure out how to keep her hapless band together and get them home in one piece. Unfortunately, between them and safety lies a forest full of elves, trolls, monsters, and that most terrifying of creatures, a human being. I'm very excited to start this one. Now I'm torn with what to do next with my day. because I have about 2 hours before work. I know what I need to focus on and do next, which is wrapping presents. Which I always do with Dash and Lily on in the background. I don't know why this has become a tradition, but I think it came out about 5 years ago, and I'd say every year I have wrapped with Dash and Lily on in the background. It's a Netflix adaptation of a book by, I think it's by David Leviathan and Rachel Kahn, if my brain is not, my memory is not deceiving me. Based on Dash and Lily's Book of Dares, which I've read. I didn't really rate that highly, but I really like the Netflix adaptation. I was right on the authors, that's cool. And my tradition for Christmas is to have that on in the background while I wrap. That's my next thing on the agenda, as well as reading my pages of this for the day for my other vlog. Then I need to either read, which would be good, or start my craft. And if I do my craft, I could listen to the audiobook as well, which would be productive. Let me show you what my craft is. So it might not strictly be a craft to some people, but my craft in my mind is the Alpine Lodge, the Lego Alpine Lodge. This feels intimidating for a couple of reasons. One, it's a fairly big set, but two, I've already started it. For some reason that to me is like more intimidating than starting it from scratch. I think because I feel like I need to know where I am. I started it I think 2 years ago, and I did not finish it that Christmas, and I did not finish it last Christmas because I moved 5 days before Christmas. And this is the year. It needs to be the year. I really want to finish this. I would love this to be a thing that I display at Christmas, break down after Christmas and rebuild next Christmas. But whether that's like achievable or not, I don't know. And I know I've already built this bit and the toilet, the outside toilet over here. And I've built like the base of the house. I don't remember building this little like ice skating rink bit. And I need to get this out and actually see where I am. But it feels really daunting to start. Once I've started, I'll be fine. Once I know where I am, I'll be fine. I just need to do it. But yeah, I know some people might not think this is like actually a craft, but to me, this is something I've started and not finished, and I really want to finish it. So that's something else I could focus on. And I love pairing Lego with an audiobook, so that would be a great shout. Because I'm not doing as much driving this week, so I haven't had the chance to listen to my audiobook so much. I just started it yesterday while I was running, and then my headphones died, so I'm only 4% of the way in. But yeah, I also just saw Gavin from Gavin Reads It All build this same Lego set in an afternoon from scratch, so that's given me more hope that it's not going to take me as long as I think to finish it. Anyway, I've been rambling for ages now. I need to go and do something, namely probably wrapping, so I think we will make a cup of tea, get Dash and Lily on, get started with wrapping. Can we take a minute to appreciate how cool this Lego is? Because like we have so many little characters. We have an outdoor toilet, complete with toilet roll. It took me so long to figure out where the sticker was meant to go. I had to Google it in the end. We have the ice rink with like somebody with like a hockey stick and a puck and everything, and a bridge and tiny ice skates. And then we have this alpine lodge, which is so intricate, so cool. There's a little birdhouse, there's a squirrel on the balcony which has got snow on it. I love the little details like the snowy footprints. There is just so many things that they have thought of, like there's an axe and the wood, and then there is actually a wood like cover where all the wood's being cut. There, you can lift the roof off. Let me turn this around. You can see inside, and it's so detailed inside. And like on the ground floor we have a fireplace which you can press the chimney down. There is a light in the chimney that lights up the fire. Like, that is so cool. It's like a diner kind of thing in here. Like, we've got the seats, we've got the coffee machine, and so many little details. The Christmas tree, which was on the back of this, and at the end you put it in the house, which is so cute. You have two little beds and like so many little candles, little thing on the wall. Like, it's just so intricate. The door to the like balcony, and even the like little loft is like decorated. There is even a present in this box. I don't think I'll be able to, but I can lift the roof off. Okay, I can't get in this one-handed, but you get the drift. The light is the coolest thing. I really love it. It's so cool, and I'm so glad that I finally finished building this year. It is a day after Lightfall has finished, and we have come to see if I actually managed to do it. I think I actually have, I think so, but I haven't checked the board for a while, like since we last checked it together, so I'm not 100% sure. But so much has happened the past few days. I'm seeing one that I'm kind of, I am not missing that. Oh my god, okay. I have done a lot the past couple of days, but I think I have managed just about. And I will admit, I've technically finished it today, because there was one thing that I did today that I haven't done any other days, and one book that I finished today that I haven't done any other days. But in my head, we're only doing this for my fun. I'm not logging this anywhere. I can't remember if there is a way to log your Lightfall books anyway. But in my head, I think I've actually managed to do this, because I have baked a lot. I baked gingerbread on Saturday with a friend, I baked a Yule log yesterday with another friend, and I've baked loads of stuff tonight to give people for Christmas. I did play a game, that's the one I thought I was missing. I have played a game with my friend. I have suggested a book, and I shared my book on Instagram. I think that kind of can count for both. Although I have said like before, I definitely have also recommended books. I finished a craft. I did my Lego. I stayed up till like midnight doing that last night. I read a book with a blue cover. I read a 4-star rating. I can't remember which one that was, but I'm sure we talked about it last time. Yes, it was 9 Goblins. I read a new release, 9 Goblins. I read a book with a white cover. I watched a movie. I watched Love Actually with a friend on Saturday. I did a stroll. I did a run. I did lots of runs, but as I said, and I've walked to and from the shops, and I walked to and from work today. There's a lot of activity in here. I think we can count it. And just now, just about, I have DIY'd a card. They're kind of crap. But I wanted to do something. I wanted to be able to take that off, because it was kind of like the one thing that wasn't easy to fit into my life, and it's not something I typically do. So I looked up some designs. This was meant to use watercolour, and I used my alcohol colouring pens, but I think these are actually quite cute. Like, they're very rudimentary and a child could have done them. I did one with the lines and one without the lines. That one has the lines. I think I actually prefer with the lines, I'm not sure. But I think these are really sweet. And a couple of lucky people are going to get them for Christmas, so there we go. I feel like I have not talked about any of my books, which is what I need to do in order to wrap up this video, because I need to edit and post this video. So I'm going to try and not talk about these too much because I'll be here forever if I ramble on. I started and finished 9 Goblins. This was a physical read. It's about 150 pages. I read it in 2 days. I really enjoyed this. This comes out in January, so this is a proof copy, and it's following a merry band of goblins as they kind of go through this goblin war, but also meet loads of other species on the way. This was a delightful tale. You cannot help but root for this gang of goblins, but equally is definitely a fun, like, entertaining, it says low fantasy and high mischief way of talking about more serious topics like racism that kind of occur, like the speciesism, I think that's a word, between like the goblins and the elves and the humans. It really opens up like a way of talking about war and politics and just so many more things, but it's also really fun and it's just quite heartwarming as well, and I really enjoyed this. I actually ended up rating it like 4.5 stars, like it's a 4.5, but yeah, I really liked this one. I did also start another physical read, which was You and Me and You and Me and You and Me by Josie, Lloyd and Emlyn Rees. I don't have a bookmark in, but I am literally 30 odd pages into this probably. The text is tiny and I have not had a lot of time for physical reading the past few days, so unfortunately I have not counted this towards anything. This would have been my white cover book, but I was not able to finish this in time. I did, however, read a book with a white cover, which is Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus by John Gray. This one I listened to the audiobook. I listened to pretty much all in one go, apart from like, I think I got to about 80% last night when I had to go to bed, which is why this has overspilled into today. Like, I will admit, Lightfall has not finished on the 21st as it's meant to. It's now the 22nd. Had to check that, even though it's like 3 days till Christmas and I know that. Has spilled into today because I didn't manage to finish this last night. I think I had like an hour of the audiobook left last night when I went to bed, but I could not do it. Also, the audiobook I listened to had a green cover, but I knew I had this edition which has a white cover, so I'm counting it. This is actually my mom's copy. She lent this to me like a 1.5 years ago and said I should read it, and I had not read it, and I finally have now. This is really interesting. It's an interesting listen and I still don't know how I feel about it. It was originally published in 1992 and I think it shows. My main takeaway from this, so this is a non-fiction book. If you have not heard of this book, I think it's a very, very famous like self-help, relationship help non-fiction book from a psychologist, counsellor, that apparently has helped millions of couples transform their relationships. Now is viewed as a modern classic. And it's basically about how men and women communicate in heterosexual relationships, as if men are from a different planet to women. And women have always lived with women and men have always lived with men, and there is no difference, and then we have to come together and obviously in relationships together try and work together and have good, loving, healthy relationships. And I feel like this was interesting, but I feel like it also didn't tell me that much. I don't know how much of it is just because it's very outdated. Like, it is very outdated, and it kind of presumes that we're all in heterosexual relationships and that's it, and that everybody identifies as either a man or a woman and that's it. And I think that aspect of this book has to be taken now with a pinch of salt, considering it's over 30 years since this was published and the world has changed a lot. But I also think that its views are quite sexist, to be completely honest. And I would be interested in talking to my mum about this now, because I don't know how she felt about this book, but I feel like she did take some like help and understanding from it. At the very start I was thinking, I can see how this kind of dynamic has played out in my previous relationships. I can see, if I take things with a massive pinch of salt, what he's trying to get at. But there's an interesting comment at the start of this book about how all other relationship books lean towards the male or female perspective, and this one doesn't, and I disagree with that. I feel like this book says that, in a nutshell, women need to be listened to and men need to be told what to do. That is genuinely my takeaway from this, and I'm not saying that that doesn't help in some situations, and I also think it's very true that women want to be listened to, and that it may be a typical feminine characteristic to want to be listened to and understood and heard, and for that to mean a lot to them in their life. And the thing that I really related to was when men want to try and fix what you're going through when you just want empathy, and I think that is very true, but I don't think it's everything, and I feel like that this book talks about it like it's the only thing. And I also think there's a lot in here about women changing their behaviours to make men's lives easier, because we basically have to tell them what we want or tell them what they should do in order to have a happy relationship, because men seem to be framed as this, and I don't think this is entirely right either, as this like primitive species who go into their caves and cannot think for themselves. I'm talking about this as like this is fiction. It's not, it's non-fiction. But it's very much framing men to not have their own thoughts, and to be very prideful and to take offence easily, and yeah, who like have to go into their caves and have timeouts is mentioned a lot, and that women talk a lot. Maybe I'm proving that point right. And that they just need for men to listen and understand them, and also that women should be able to tell men what to do, because they're not going to think of it by themselves, because that's not how Martians are. And I feel like I'm being very pessimistic about this, and I don't entirely think that's right. I think it's an interesting read, but I'm not sure I would take it as gospel, and I do think it can actually be quite insulting to both genders and really frames men like they have no free will, or not no free will, that's maybe too harsh, but they can't kind of think for themselves. At this point, this is entirely my own thoughts and feelings. I have not read reviews from other people, and I am really interested to do that, because I do not know how other people think, what other people think about this book in this age, like in a contemporary age. Obviously my mom is a different generation to me. I don't know what younger people think about this, and I'm really curious to go and read some reviews and see. I'm very glad I finally read it, and I'm not saying that I won't take any of this knowledge forward with me, because I will, I think, consider some of the stuff this book says, but most of it I think is quite outdated and quite insulting in a lot of ways, to be completely honest. Anyway, the other book I read that I need to count for a prompt here is Blue, which is this book here, Magic Has No Borders, which is edited by Sona, Charaipotra and Samira Ahmed. And it's this collection of magical South Asian tales by South Asian authors, featuring South Asian folklore, legends and epic reimaginings of stories, fantasy and science fiction teen anthology. So it brings a wide range of stories from 14 best-selling, award-winning, emerging writers from the South Asian diaspora, I think, that will surprise, delight and move you. So read on, for after all, magic has no borders. I really like the idea of this book. I think, as I've probably said many a time, it's maybe a little young for me now. I am not a teen anymore, and I realise that with every teen book I read. I think I do enjoy teen books still. I do enjoy YA, and I don't disregard YA, but I often feel now when I read it that I do feel I would have gotten more out of it when I was younger, and I won't get so much out of it now. That's not to say that I won't enjoy it, but anyway, I feel like I got more from the start of this book, the introduction, which is obviously kind of non-fiction, and the author bios than I did anything else. I really liked hearing about the origins of these stories, and I think it says more to how my tastes have changed, that I actually want something more non-fiction about these kind of topics than I do want to read a reimagining of a story. Obviously, as with any anthology, this was very much a mix of some I really liked, some I didn't like that so much. As normal with these kind of fantasy stories, I really like ones that are grounded in the real world, and I don't like the more kind of wishy-washy fantasy elements. So yeah, I'm mixed feelings about this, but I think if nothing else, it's opened my eyes to the fact that I would actually be more interested in non-fiction, learning about kind of where these South Asian tales came from. And I think it was really interesting to read things and then hear that they've been adapted from really obviously very famous like South Asian folklore. But yeah, an interesting one. I would say I rated 3 stars probably. And I would probably say the same, but I don't like rating non-fiction, and I feel like because that's such a personal thing to me, I also don't really want to rate it. But anyway, that's my update. I really need to finish and edit this vlog now and get it out. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I have certainly enjoyed this video. It's really posed a challenge, especially to finish these books. I listened to the audiobook of this, that probably comes as no surprise, and finish all of the things on this board, as well as like working full-time doing things with my life. It's been a fun week, and I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. We're nearly at the end of Vlogmas, guys. Bye!